Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel, Bookmarks and Breadsticks. My name is Kim and this channel focuses on everything delicious in the world of food writing. I am here today to bring you a tag, the coffee tag, which I was tagged graciously by Leslie over at the Nerdy Narrative. But before we get started, please consider hitting the like and subscribe buttons below. I would love for you to be part of my foodie bookish family. Okay, let's jump right on in. Couple of coffee tag questions. The first prompt, Black, a series that is hard to get into but has hardcore fans. I don't read a lot of series because nonfiction books inherently are not series, generally, at least with food, but I think an author who is difficult to get into in food writing is Michael Pollan. He has so many books, and it's very intimidating when you see how long his bibliography is. A lot of people know him from The Omnivore's Dilemma, and then there's just so much rich information that comes with it. If you're nervous about reading The Omnivore's Dilemma, first, it's a wonderful book, but second, if you want, you can read it as an audiobook, and Pollan is one of the few authors who actually narrates his own audiobooks, which I think really helps the story. Second prompt, Pepperiment Mochia, a book that gets more popular around the holidays. What is a food book that gets popular around the holidays? I wouldn't want to pick a cookbook. That's not really my MO. I find that a lot of Julia Child's books start to trend around the holidays, including her memoirs, because obviously, like, The Woman's a Genius and The Art of French Cooking is such a famous book. So a lot of the Julia Child memoirs, or not memoirs, excuse me, they are biographies, they're the traded letters back and forth that have been published. I do see a little bit more of that, especially YouTubers who are cooking from the recipes, that are cooking her recipes. Goodness, my mouth is just full of rocks today. I think that's something that does spike around the holidays. Third prompt, Hot Chocolate, your favorite children's book. Okay, I don't know about you, but I was obsessed with the Berenstain Bears. My mother probably bought me 40 of those books. I look back now and kick myself, but when I was a kid, I sat on the floor one day and opened the inside cover and numbered every single one of them. My mom still has them in the basement of my childhood home, and one of the books, there are many Berenstain Bear books, but the one I remember is the Berenstain Bears in the Case of the Gimmies, when it's like a lesson of like, gimme, 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 I want it, but all I remember were the pictures and illustrations of so much candy. But I was like, yes, give me candy. Prompt number 4, Double Shot Espresso, edge of your seat from start to finish. Interesting. I would say The Truffle Underground, which, let me see if I can find it. Sorry guys, one second. The Truffle Underground by Ryan Jacobs. A tale of mystery, mayhem, and manipulation in the shadowy market of the world's most expensive fungus. So this was a really gripping story. It kind of reads like a crime novel. Truffles are they're basically bulbs of fungus that grow under the ground, and it takes a lot of skill to find them. You have a tracking dog. You have to make sure your dog doesn't like pick up the truffle and break it. And there's turf wars. There are people who invade each other's farmland and property at night. There are shootings. There are murders. There's smuggling truffles over borders to avoid paying like taxes to the French. This is a really gripping book, but very easy to understand. All over a fungus. I really recommend this one. Okay, next prompt, Hipster Coffee Shop. Give an indie book a shout out. Now, I don't actually have any independently published food books. I don't think. I do. I'm looking for a book on my shelf called Cheesemonger. Oh, this is embarrassing. Where is it? Oh, I do have one. So this book, Craft Beef, I read at the end of 2019. Craft Beef, A Revolution of Small Farms and Big Flavors by Joe Heitzberg, Ethan Lowry, and Caroline Saunders. This is a self-published book now that I think about it, because I remember the font. I remember immediately knowing it was self-published because the fonts were really big, and it was formatted more like an essay. It's a very nice book. I think I gave it a 3 out of 5, and it's all about steak not being a commodity, that our cattle and our food supply cannot be a commodity. And it's a positive and informative look at how good work is being done in the beef industry, including small-scale artisanal farming. I did get this one off of Amazon. Sorry for purchasing a book through Amazon, but it's still a small self-indie book. Another book, another prompt. Okay, next prompt, Starbucks, a book you see everywhere. I would say it goes without saying that you're going to find an Anthony Bourdain book anywhere. Rest in peace, he is phenomenal. Ruth Reichel's also a very famous and influential food writer. She spent many years at Food and Wine magazine. And Michael Pollan. I've mentioned Michael Pollan. So those three authors you just see everywhere. It's not a bad thing. They're great intro books to the category, but there's people and authors that I see everywhere. Decaf, a book you were expecting more from. This definitely has to go to the book Taco Chronicle. Is that what it's called? Oh no, it's called Planet Taco. Okay, so Decaf, a book you were expecting more of, definitely Taco Planet. This is one of the few books this year I gave a 1 star. It's a global history of Mexican food and it's so dense. It's just an academic brouhaha of boredom. These are the kinds of books that I think make people nervous about reading nonfiction. It's not a bad book. It's a good book if I was in a university course learning about the global history of Mexican cuisine or South American cuisine, Latin American cuisine. But in terms of, is it a narrative driven, is there a compelling story or a connective tie? There really isn't. This is a boatload of information. It's a great book if you're going to write a research paper. It's just was not my favorite book. And the final prompt, perfect blend, bitter yet sweet. And I would have to give this to Padma Lakshmi's memoir, Love, Loss, and What We Ate. Padma, if that name sounds familiar, she is well known for her hosting roles on Top Chef. She also has her own show, Taste of a Nation, that premiered earlier this year on Hulu. She's a former model, but more importantly than that, in the last year or two, I've really seen Padma turn up the volume on her political activism, which has been really cool to watch. This book is bitter yet sweet because the journey Padma goes through as an immigrant, coming to America, building her life, it's a beautiful story, but the loss that she endures is just heartbreaking. There were points where I was definitely in tears. If you listen to the audiobook, Padma does narrate it herself, which just makes it even more touching. Following her on Instagram, I recognize her daughter. I recognize her daughter's born in the course of this book, and now this little girl is 12 years old, and there's so much heartwarming love for it, but so much pain this woman has gone through. And the fact that she has stayed such a poised and wonderful human being is astounding. Okay, so this was a super fun tag. The final prompt is I need to tag some other people. So I'm going to tag Jessie over at The Bookish Mom, and I am going to tag Tea and Lit, which I think is funny because she really focuses on tea. Well, she drinks tea more than she drinks coffee. So we'll see what she comes up with. And if you haven't done this tag, consider yourself tagged. I hope you guys are well. Please don't forget to hit like and subscribe, wear a mask, support your small businesses, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.